All right, now get your head in the hole.
Dad, this is stupid.
Stanley, there's no time for your immaturity. Do it!
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most outlandish and mind-numbingly stupid things parents have done in our favorite mountain town.
But why do I have to leave?
The news says that at your age you aren't safe with us, son. You have to get out of here before we abduct you.
Some of these may contain plot points, so a spoiler alert is in effect. Number 20. Turning Kenny's neighborhood into a Soto Sopa.
The truth is there's something we're lacking as a community, and it's time we all faced it. What this town needs is a Whole Foods.
It only took an overwhelming desire to get a Whole Foods in South Park to destroy Kenny's neighborhood and a long-time restaurant's business.
Hey, what are you people doing?
We're gentrifying. It's all good.
With help from the residents, the mayor funds a gentrification project meant to attract more affluent hipsters and businesses in hopes to impress the folks at Whole Foods. The entire fiasco highlights just how out of touch Mayor McDaniels, Randy, and many others are to those who are less fortunate than themselves.
I've never seen a town put so much energy into displaying an exaggerated sense of social consciousness. Congratulations, you have your Whole Foods.
Sure, the town does eventually get their supermarket, but only at the expense of both Kenny's family and the poor City Walk owner. Number 19. Randy buys a Blockbuster.
We are going into business for ourselves. You are all looking at the new owner of Blockbuster Video.
Blockbuster Video?
It's somewhat common knowledge that today, streaming services have all but replaced physical mediums like VHS and DVD. So it comes as a massive surprise to both his wife and kids that Randy decides to purchase and reopen a Blockbuster video store.
But you're wrong. The average person still wants to rent movies they can hold in their hands.
That alone should be enough to put him in the dumbest decisions ever category. But his naivety knows no bounds as he continues to insist that not only is there a demand for his store, but he forces the whole family to work there. Of all Randy's bad choices, this has to rank as one of the worst. Yet, as dumb as Randy's decision was, we can at least give props for the awesome tribute to The Shining the episode gave us. Number 18. Abandon their kids to protest a TV show. One of the earliest shticks of South Park was flipping the narrative to show how the kids always seemed to be more intelligent than the parents. It only took 6 episodes before we saw the most glaring example of this.
Young man, you are not to watch that show anymore. It's immature toilet humor.
When Kyle's mom learns of the boys' love of Terrence and Phillip, she convinces all the parents in town to protest the network airing the show. With all the adults gone, the kids are left to fend for themselves. The episode shows how the parents seem more interested in fighting causes to help their kids versus actually taking care of them. Number 17. Purposely giving their kids chickenpox. Chickenpox is a common disease that can be far more serious as an adult than a child. But does that really excuse purposely exposing kids to a virus?
But I started thinking that we should intentionally have our boys play with a child who has the chickenpox. Let them get it now while they're young. That's not crazy at all, Sharon.
Such is the case in South Park, when Kenny catches the disease and the parents decide to send the other children over to his place to try and expose them to it. The boys learn about this and find a way to creatively get back at their parents for their deception.
It's some kind of parental conspiracy. Our parents are trying to kill us or something.
We'd like to think the parents were just trying to do what they thought was best, but come on, there's vaccines for that now.
You little rascals!
Well, I guess it serves us right.
Number 16. Randy purposely contracts testicular cancer. There was a time when marijuana could only be legally obtained through a card issued by a doctor.
Oh, that's dumb.
So when Randy learns he can get weed if he has cancer, he goes to extreme lengths to purposely give himself the disease, all in the name of getting high.
Just gonna get a little bit of cancer, Stan.
Others follow suit, and before you know it, they all end up with testicular cancer. They literally bounce around with joy, high as a kite. All of this just to get their hands on some pot. Clearly, none of these dads considered how bad things can get when you contract cancer.
Well, I gotta admit, it's a lot easier to get inside doors with my little prosthetic balls.
Number 15. Randy gets in Little League fights.
Is it for what? Arresting me for what? I'm not allowed to stand up for myself? I thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
If you've ever had kids who play in Little League baseball, you've probably seen dads just like Randy. They trash talk and are overly obnoxious whilst everyone else is just trying to enjoy the game. That in itself is annoying, but not unexpected.
Come on, let's go. I'm right here.
Randy.
Randy, however, takes it to a new level by picking fights with other dads, resulting in physical violence. It's fine to want to support your kids' extracurricular activities, but purposely goading other parents for the sake of a fistfight is not the way to go. Number 14. Obsessing over true crime shows. How many times have you heard about kids being concerned about violent images on television triggering similar behavior in kids? What if the story were flipped, and it was the kids who were so worried about what their moms and dads were watching?
How is this stuff allowed to stay on the air?
It's an incredibly clever switch-up, yet showcases how truly dumbfounding the parents in this town can be. Randy, Sharon, and countless other parents become overly obsessed with crime reenactment shows.
Yes, Dan, these are based on real things. This is like news. It's informative. Parents like informative stuff.
The great lengths they go to try and get back their crime shows really highlights how truly dumb these so-called adults really are. Number 13. Clyde's mom falling in a toilet.
What is that?
A toilet?
Leave it to South Park to find a hilarious way to mock one of the oldest debates among men and women, putting the toilet seat down. Some argue that if putting the toilet seat down is a big deal for you, why not just do it yourself when using the restroom? Others argue that in the middle of the night, you may not notice it and end up sitting in toilet water. It's the latter of these two which South Park chose to mock.
What have I told you about putting the toilet seat down after you go to the bathroom?
Mom, I'm in class.
How many times do I have to tell you, Clyde? I was trying to get ready for work and the toilet seat was up again.
Betsy, come back home. It's just not that big a deal.
No, Roger, it's a disgusting habit and I'm sick and tired of it.
Clyde's mom is apparently so incredibly naive that she actually gets stuck in the toilet and dies. Yes, the toilet seat thing can be annoying, but come on, Betsy, really? Number 12. Forcing conversion therapy. An inappropriate photo of Butters triggers his father to claim the young boy is confused about his sexuality and sends him to a conversion therapy camp. Butters himself has no idea what the camp is really for. While there, he continues to be disoriented by their military-like behavior of the staff and the repeated attempts by other confused kids to end their stay once and for all. None of the adults or parents seem to have any clue about the damage or hurt they are causing. By the end of it, Butters stands clear and tall, making it known that it is the parents and counselors who are confused.
You know what I think? I think maybe you're the ones who are confused.
Yeah.
Number 11. Ignoring ManBearPig's attacks. Truth be told, this could be said of both the parents and kids, but let's focus on the former. ManBearPig has always served as a stand-in for climate change within the bounds of South Park. During a two-parter in Season 22, MBP goes on a rampage, killing a bunch of locals. Despite their horrific deaths, law enforcement, many of the parents, and other adults alike continue to deny that MBP is real.
Everyone wants to use the fear of a man-bear-pig to get what they want.
A massive destructive force is literally tearing people to shreds, and they continue to question its legitimacy? Nothing is more confusing than continuing to deny something is real when everything around you says otherwise.
There's definitely evidence that all the death and destruction around us is due to a ManBearPig.
But no exact correlation to a man-bear-pig.
Definitely not, and that's why we're all here to try to pinpoint when should I start to worry.
Number 10. Electing a hand puppet as mayor. In the appropriately named South Park The Fractured But Whole, the kids discover that Mitch Connor, Cartman's dastardly left hand, has returned to take over South Park by running for mayor.
The citizens of South Park deserve to feel safe. Safe from vigilantes who go around farting on people's heads.
His plan? Get all the adults hooked on drugs and alcohol with cat urine while letting criminals roam free to make Mayor McDaniels look bad.
What do we do, sir?
Just keep getting the product into people's drugs and alcohol. I'll handle the vigilante.
His plan succeeds in the first timeline, but when the new kid rewinds time, the kids manage to expose Mitch's plan before his inauguration. Although, let's be honest, this was Cartman's doing the whole time. Rather than analyze their stupidity and overindulgence, the adults all choose to disperse in search of clean drugs and alcohol. If only that really exists.
Come on, everybody. Let's go get clean drugs and alcohol from the next town over.
Number 9. Getting Earth blocked off.
Yeah! All right, you got him, son!
After bringing down a notorious space criminal, the adults find themselves stuck with a ludicrous amount of space cash.
Space cash.
However, instead of reporting and returning it to the intergalactic police, they choose to keep the stolen cash for themselves, lie to the police, and begin using it as their own currency.
Oh, no, China. We get to keep the ship. Because we killed the alien, you boner. Oh, come on, England. You got just as much of the space cash as everyone else.
As it turns out, the criminal and space cash were all part of a test to see if Earth was eligible to become a part of an elite legion of intergalactic societies.
These are not space cops. There is no space jail, and space cash is only worth what you as a planet decided it was worth.
Citing their greed and self-indulgent behavior, the criminal, who is revealed to be an ambassador of the Legion, isolates Earth from the rest of the universe.
Well, that sucks.
Number 8. Dressing up as ghosts to scare off rich people. When Token manages to get rich families to move to South Park, Garrison becomes irritated with the sudden change and rallies some of the townsfolk to get rid of them.
That's the 5th family of them that's moved here. Seems like all of a sudden South Park is being overrun by those types.
Hey, what are you saying? What types?
You know, those types. Rich people.
However, their methods are a little unorthodox, to say the least, as their methods for scaring the rich away involve burning a lowercase t that supposedly stands for
Time to leave?
To make matters worse, they dress up as ghosts as their last resort to get the rich to leave. While their plan works, unfortunately, the ending implies that Garrison managed to trick the town into temporarily becoming the KKK in a convoluted get-rich-quick scheme. How did nobody realize this sooner?
That was it. We just saw the last of them speeding away in a van.
All right!
Number 7. Explaining the plot of an adult film. When Randy has the boys give the Stotches a rental of Lord of the Rings, he soon discovers he accidentally gave them a pornographic film. And so he and the rest of the parents end up searching for the kids before their innocent eyes experience it. Luckily, they find them. But rather than explaining the problem, Randy chooses to explain the plot in immense detail, leaving the boys speechless.
But you must make sure your partner is okay with it before you start doing it.
Okay, boys. Do you have any questions?
Given that Tolkien watched the movie, we can understand his assumption. But the stupidity lies in his negligence to ask, let alone leave the kids confused.
Wow.
Number 6. Believing Butters had multiple personality disorder.
Honk, honk! Breaker 19, Breaker 19. It's clean clear out to Flagtown. Looks like we got ourselves a convoy. Honk, honk!
Now he thinks he's a truck driver.
Oh, God, the medication isn't working.
Talk about being overly paranoid. After witnessing their son putting on multiple personas, or as the kids call it, playing pretend, Linda and Steven believe their little Butters has multiple personality disorder and place him in therapy with Dr. Janice. Butters quickly becomes frustrated with his predicament as he finds his own doctor is the one suffering from the illness.
Don't listen to Dr. Janice. He's a mean old man and a big silly grown-up.
Pardon me?
We gotta side with Butters on this one. Playing pretend is nothing alarming. Kids do it all the time, and even adults can adopt personas. Besides, Butters is just enjoying his life as a postman/truck driver. Let the kid have a little fun!
No more Postman Butters? No more Inspector Butters?
Number 5. Burying their heads in sand to prevent an attack.
Kyle, what the hell is going on this time? I have no idea.
Once again, Family Guy has gone and angered another part of the world, getting ready to air a new episode that depicts the Prophet Muhammad.
So?
So, Stanley, Muhammad is sacred to the Muslim people.
While Kyle tries to stop Cartman from getting the episode pulled, the townsfolk of South Park are thrown into a blind panic, wondering how to keep themselves from getting bombed by Muslim terrorists. Just so they could say they never saw the episode, the whole town ends up burying their heads in sand.
No, wait a minute. That's ridiculous.
There are 2 issues here. First off, the terrorists were threatening the whole country, not just South Park. And 2, who was going to bury the last person's head in the sand? This was an absurd plan conjured up in a desperate move to claim innocence. Number 4. Banishing Stan for refusing to vote. South Park Elementary finds themselves in a chaotic split where the candidates for the school's new mascots were announced. One half wants the giant douche, and the other half wants the turd sandwich.
You see, what turd sandwich brings to our school, Clyde, is a complete package. The turd and the bread, and the lettuce and the olive.
Whereas giant douche is just, well, just a giant douche.
The only student who doesn't seem to care is Stan Marsh, and when he voices his apathy, the town straps him on a horse and sends him packing.
Dad, isn't this a little extreme?
Jesus. I guess maybe you'll never understand how important voting is. Goodbye, son.
Considering the number of awful things Eric Cartman has done, this is all it took for Stan to be exiled? We guess South Park considers not voting to be worse than making a kid eat his own parents.
Do you like it, Scott? I call it Mr. and Mrs. Tenorman chili.
Number 3. Banning cats.
Probably shouldn't have told you that just now. Okay. That was probably bad.
Alright, this should keep my cat in place while he sprays the urine.
The kids have found a new way to get high, and the drugs are right in their homes. When the adults discover it is possible to get high off of cat urine, they take extreme measures to protect their children, going so far as to straight up ban all cats. Of course, that doesn't stop Kenny from getting hopped up on what is called cheesing, and Cartman ends up housing dozens of cats in his attic.
Shh, Mr. Kitty, you have to be quiet, or else they're gonna find you.
Clearly, this overblown ban could be foreseen as difficult to enforce. But what else could we expect from the grown-ups at this point?
Just do it one more time. One last time. Then I'll call the police, have them pick up the cat. And then I'll never do it again.
Number 2. Sending their children away. In the episode Child Abduction is Not Funny, the parents of South Park go to great lengths to ensure their kids' safety.
Stan, our abduction problems are over. We got the new child tracker.
Child tracker?
Despite putting clunky child tracker helmets on every kid in town, the parents soon discover a new horror thanks to their local news: the possibility that parents may abduct their own children.
The study shows that the most likely abductors of children are the parents themselves.
You'd think there would be one sane grown-up to call out the lunacy on display, but nope. Every kid in South Park is sent away, and Mayor McDaniels hires the City Walk owner to build a massive wall, ensuring nobody will be able to kidnap their kids.
And so, we want you to design and build a great wall all around the city.
I don't build wall. I just own and operate a city walk.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Blaming Canada for their children's foul language. As a result of seeing the very adult Terrence and Phillip movie, every kid in town is swearing and calling each other inappropriate names. Rather than take it upon themselves to be parents and teach their kids why cursing isn't appropriate, the mothers of South Park blame the whole thing on Canada and form an organization, Mothers Against Canada.
Blame Canada! Blame Canada! With all their beady little eyes and flapping heads so full of lies. Blame Canada! Blame Canada!
The outrage eventually escalates into a war between the US and Canada, and the farting comedians are taken as the US's prisoners.
So guys, does it make you nervous to be in America? There are a lot of organizations here that want you arrested for destroying children.
Oh, they'd have to find us first.
You're right. Now!
Terrence and Philip, Mothers Against Canada is placing you under citizen's arrest!
This all could have been avoided had they spent a few minutes explaining to their kids what they did was wrong.
I'm sorry I didn't pay attention to you, Kyle.
Did we miss any major atrocities from the parents in South Park? Feel free to voice your opinion down in the comments. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.